Imagine this. You're battling cancer, a war raging inside your body. Despite surgeries, grueling chemotherapy, and radiation treatments, you stay strong, determined to continue the work you love, helping others as a nurse. But then the unthinkable happens. Your employer, instead of standing by your side, begins questioning your capabilities. They accuse you of theft, claim your mind has been affected by treatment, and fire you. This is the story of Sarah Williams, a woman who fought against cancer, against stigma, and ultimately against the law itself. Today, we unravel her legal battle against Riverstone Medical Center, a case that asks a critical question: what does it truly mean to have a disability under the law? Sarah Williams was no ordinary nurse. With 8 years of dedicated service at Riverstone Medical Center in Maplewood, a small town in the state of Silverwood, she was known for her commitment and professionalism. But everything changed in 2009 when she was diagnosed with cancer, a diagnosis that demanded immediate and aggressive treatment. Surgery, chemotherapy, radiation. Sarah faced it all. But even in the midst of this uphill battle, she didn't give up her job. She sought a simple accommodation, a slight adjustment to her schedule so she could attend radiation treatments after her shifts. For a while, it seemed like things would work out. But then her employer revoked the accommodation. Soon after, Sarah's supervisors compelled her to take a medical leave she didn't ask for. And when she returned to work, an investigation into missing medications suddenly emerged, pointing fingers at her. By February 2010, Sarah Williams was fired. Was it discrimination against a woman fighting for her health, or justified action by a hospital protecting its patients? When Sarah Williams sued Riverstone Medical Center under the Silverwood Civil Rights Act, she alleged that her termination was based on discrimination due to her disability, or at least her employer's perception of one. Her side of the story? Sarah argued she had been fully capable of performing her job throughout her treatment. She testified that she experienced only mild side effects from chemotherapy, fatigue, nausea, and hot flashes, but nothing that interfered with her duties as a nurse. She even scheduled her treatments around her shifts to avoid any disruptions. On the other hand, Riverstone Medical Center claimed they had legitimate reasons for their actions. They pointed to an internal audit that revealed 21 alleged violations in Sarah's medication handling. They suggested her chemotherapy-induced chemo brain might have impaired her judgment, and they argued they fired her not because of her cancer, but because of her failure to properly account for controlled substances. The trial had its share of pivotal moments. An expert witness testified that Riverstone's medication audit was flawed and didn't meet industry standards. He suggested there could be benign explanations for most of the alleged violations. Sarah herself testified, vehemently denying any wrongdoing and maintaining that her cancer never hindered her ability to do her job. The jury sympathized with Sarah. They awarded her over $1 million in damages, signaling that they believed Riverstone's actions were discriminatory. But the story didn't end there. Riverstone appealed the decision, taking the case to the Silverwood Court of Appeals, and later to the Supreme Court of Silverwood. In the end, the Supreme Court of Silverwood overturned the jury's decision. The justices ruled that Sarah Williams had not provided sufficient evidence to prove she had a qualifying disability under the Silverwood Civil Rights Act. Here's the key legal issue. To succeed in her claim, Sarah needed to show that her cancer, or the perception of it, substantially limited her ability to perform a major life activity, like working, caring for herself, or completing daily tasks. But Sarah's own testimony worked against her. She repeatedly stated that her cancer treatments didn't affect her ability to work or live her life normally. The court also noted that the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, expanded the definition of disability to include impairments affecting normal cell growth. But even if this broader federal standard applied, Sarah's case still failed. Why? because she didn't provide expert testimony to show that her cancer substantially limited her normal cell growth or any other major life activity. The verdict was clear. Sarah Williams lost her case. But the ruling left a significant question unanswered. Should Silverwood's Civil Rights Act be updated to align with the broader protections of the ADA? The court's decision leaned heavily on prior cases, like Howard v. Sony Airlines, which emphasized that disabilities must impose substantial limitations to qualify under the law. But critics argue that cases like Sarah Williams highlight a gap between legal definitions and real-world experiences. The ADA, passed in 2008, was meant to make it easier for individuals with conditions like cancer to be protected under disability laws. Yet, Silverwood has not explicitly adopted these amendments into its Civil Rights Act. As a result, plaintiffs like Sarah must navigate a narrower legal standard, one that some say doesn't reflect the challenges faced by people battling serious illnesses. Sarah Williams' case is more than a legal dispute. It's a story about the intersection of illness, work, and justice. Her battle reminds us that the definition of disability isn't just a legal question, it's a human one. As we close today's episode of AI on the Bench, we leave you with this thought. Should laws evolve to better protect individuals like Sarah, who fight not only for their health, but for their livelihoods? Or should courts continue to demand strict evidence of substantial limitations? Let us know your thoughts. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the legal labyrinth. Until next time, stay curious, stay questioning, and stay engaged.